Hi there, it's Nicole McGuirk, and this week's From Start to Finish video features using pattern papers from different manufacturers to make a layout that combines lots of different pattern papers. Plus, I'm going to share how I created my photo strip. So I use Photoshop CS4. I've resized my photo to 2 by 3 inches at 300 pixels. And right now I rotated it to the side because I'm moving it to a new document that is an 8.5 by 11 document, which is the size of my photo paper. So I'm creating a photo strip. And you can see I had originally thought I might do the photos in black and white, and I'd even gone so far as to print it out and decided that the papers and stuff, it just really washed out the photos and it didn't keep them center stage. So I chose to use a photo action that was more of a vintage look, which kept the color in the photos but gave it a more subdued and soft look. So I just move them to the new document and leave a little space between each and then print it as one document. Now I have my craft background, which is a 12 by 12 sheet of craft paper, and I'm using a Mr. Huey ink, and I originally had started with the cream ink and decided that that just really kind of blended into the craft too much, randomly spritzing it there. I'm using my craft mat from Ranger to protect my work surface. So I did go back over it, and I just went right back over it, the same sheet with the white, and you can see that the white really dried nicely on there. Now I have a strip that I've cut from a sheet of Cosmo Cricut paper. This is from their Togetherness line. And I also punched a border using an EK Success border punch. And I went ahead and punched the whole 12-inch strip. But I think it's fun, and it makes it a tad bit more whimsical to go ahead and trim part of that and make it a little bit off-center. Now, if you don't care for that look, go ahead and, use the entire punched border. It just depends on what look I'm going for. And for this particular page, I thought trimming the punched border would be a fun touch. I'm going to adhere that right along the top of my page. I'm leaving just a little space between the top and where I'm adhering this border, so it's not clear to the top of the page. And then I'll just trim off the little extra there. Now I have cut a sheet of cream cardstock to 10 by 10, and then I just cut this Lily Bee paper slightly smaller, about 4 inches wide. I'm going to adhere that at the top of the cream cardstock. And then I'll add some adhesive to the back of my cream cardstock and adhere that to my page. And I'm not lining this up exactly either. I'm keeping this page fairly whimsical, I guess I would say. And so I'm not lining everything up perfectly. I don't usually scatter things too much. I like to ground them with like these photo mats, but I think it's fun to add a bit of whimsy by turning my base papers or photos or things like that just a little bit. Now I've trimmed, I believe this is a 4 by 12 inch strip of paper. This is from another sheet of paper from the Lily Bee Fall Collection, and it has these fun little banners or pennants, and I'm just going to adhere that along the bottom of my page. And you can see my photo strip there that I've trimmed. I left just a little white border around it, and I've also printed my journaling on this strip of craft cardstock, and I had spritzed it with the Mr. Huey ink white mist before I printed on it, and I let it dry real good. Then I printed my journaling, and I'm just going to adhere that journaling strip all the way across the bottom of my page. And then I have this cute little playing card from My Mind's Eye that I'm going to adhere. So I'm combining lots of different collections and manufacturers' papers on this one page. So far we've got Lily Bee, Cosmo Cricket, and My Mind's Eye. I have another strip from that Cosmo Cricket paper, and really this whole layout started with that strip, the I Love You to the Moon and Back. It's one of my kids' favorite books that I read them when they were little, and we still read, and I just thought it was really fun and cute, and it reminds me of childhood, so that's why I chose to use it and kind of make it the focal point of the page. I chose some little playing cards, or I think these are kind of the bingo cards or wild cards from October Afternoon, and that was one of the Good Stuff card there. Die cut is one of their punch outs. It's from an older collection. And I'm just layering these, tucking this one back behind that cream photo mat, and the wild card I'm tucking behind the photo strip. A fun tip is to layer pieces like this. A lot of these things I've had lying around for quite a while, and if you combine them and layer them together, you get a really nice big accent for your page. And this is another one of those playing cards from My Mind's Eye, from their Alphabet Soup collection. I'm going to tuck that underneath my photo strip as well, move that around till I get it right where I want it. And that just adds a fun accent to the page. I'm going to go ahead and apply some adhesive to my photo strip now. And I'm going to attach it straight on with that cardstock mat on the back, but it will be at an angle on the page, if that makes sense. And then I've cut a real thin strip from a My Mind's Eye pattern paper, and it has some of those blues in it from the My Mind's Eye playing cards that I added to the page. I wanted to make sure I added a little bit more touch of blue, and that ties all the blue into the page. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my thin strips of paper straight with the background, the craft background, with some adhesive. And you can see then my photo strip is at an angle, tucked behind these borders or paper strips. And this is how I go about designing a lot of pages. I just keep adding layers until I feel like the page is finished. And now I have another one of those punched borders, and I'm just going to trim it a little bit more. I don't want it to be exact, and I want to tuck it right under that I Love You to the Moon and Back paper strip. Just lift that up a little bit and tuck it right under there. And then that ties in the red from the top of the page to the bottom of the page. Just keeps the whole design balanced, but still very fun. I'm going to take my paper piercer and I'm going to attach a rhinestone brad from Making Memories. This just kind of helps ground the journaling strip or kind of attach it to the page. Even though I've attached it with adhesive, this kind of is a fun way to make it look like it's attached with a brad. And plus it adds a nice embellishment near the bottom of the page. Added a little bit of information by printing on an October Afternoon label sticker. I'm going to tuck that at the top of the page. And again, that one more element really balances out that little collage of cards and embellishments. I'm going to use my piercer again and add a cute little heart brad a red heart brad. And again, this red ties back into those red punched borders. Added a little fabric brad there, and I originally was going to use a little mini clip from Tim Holtz, but then I decided I wanted more color, so I went with a KI Memories button clip. And then the page is finished with those few embellishments. For more information on this page, plus links to the products used, please visit twopeasinabucket.com on January 12th, 2011. Thanks for watching.